Cardano's founder, Charles Hawkinson, which uses the token ADA, talks about working with Ripple and says there's no reason for us not to work together. Every bank in Japan is going to be using XRP by the start of next year. And the last thing that we're going to be going over, and probably biggest piece of news, is the IRS has a new tax code for cryptocurrency. Make sure you guys tune into this video to find out all the details. Hey guys, Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning in to my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys want to like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already, click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. If you just could share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can. I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started. Today's be Friday, December 27th. Getting started. The total market cap for all cryptocurrency right now is $3.25 trillion. This is a 2.5% decrease on the day today. Bitcoin is trading right about $94,000, Ethereum $3,110, and XRP right now down to $2.14. If we look at the week right now, Bitcoin is currently down on the 7-day 2.73%, Ethereum 2.45%, and then XRP 4.32%. Getting into our biggest gainers and losers on the day today, we see some big gainers. We see Virtual right now 15.5%. We see FTN 8.1%. And then biggest losers on the day today, we see Pudgy Penguins currently down 11.2%. FTT down 9%. I don't know why people are still buying and trading this. The founder of the FTX token is currently in prison right now, as well as the company itself said that they're no longer going to be in business. So people are buying and trading this, in my opinion. Again, no financial advice for no reason. And then XDC, which is sad to see, but currently down 7.6%. Looking at the week, though, we see a lot of green. If we look at the year in review, though, we see the majority of our cryptocurrencies are going to be in the green. We see a lot of the meme coins. Again, we're in a meme coin craze right now, so we're seeing a lot of big pumps in those coins. But, I mean, some of the other coins, like they have real utility. HBAR currently up 212%. Link 37%. XLM 165%. XDC 32%. Algorand 42%. So we're seeing a lot of real-world use case. I'm trying to find the XRP token right now. It's hard to tell with a lot of these big bubbles. I don't know. I can't see it right now. I'm just kind of blind on this screen. But moving on to our news, though. We see right here, the United States has a spending problem. Current national debt is $36 trillion and growing, but this is the first time in decades there are potential solutions on the horizon. Odds that Doge will cut at least $250 billion in government spending are up to 36%, and 11% to cut $1 trillion. So this is big news for the United States. As long as we can start cutting our national debt down, even if it's just by a little bit, we can see progress going in the future. But if we can just cut it by next year, we're going to see a definite growth over the next 4 years in cutting down our national debt. Goldman Sachs just said that it expects Jerome Powell and the Fed to cut rates by 25 basis points or 0.25% in March, followed by 2 more 25 basis points or 0.25 rate cuts in June and September. So in my opinion, I think that this is big news. We did see the Fed come out with a rate cut just this month. This was the last cut of 2024, and then we're going to see smaller rate cuts in next year. So, this rate cut should have actually had investor confidence in the markets and had prices go up for a lot of investments, but due to his kind of like iffy remarks for 2025, there was a lot of investor deconfidence in markets, and that's the reason why, in my opinion, a lot of the prices crashed. Now, I wanted to point this out because this is really interesting, especially you're involved with cryptocurrency, but a New York judge shreds Jay-Z trying to squash the lawsuit where he is accused of something to a minor. Judge Annalisa Torres sided with the victim and the judge is Jane Doe in her request to remain anonymous. Torres condemned Jay-Z and his lawyer Alex Shapiro, or Spiro, however you pronounce it, for trying to fast-track the legal process. Now, I wanted to point out Judge Annalisa Torres, for those of you guys that don't know, or have been following along and you guys do know, she was the presiding judge over the Ripple versus the SEC case, where she came out and made her ruling that XRP in and of itself is not a security and said that there was a lot of government overreach. So this is actually really big news in my opinion. The judge is starting to move up, finding these bigger, higher profile cases, and for her to be on this right after the Ripple versus the SEC case, I did want to point that out in this video. Now, Kevin O'Leary He says AOC should get fired. Elon has incredible record. Now, a bunch of people, and especially members of Congress, are talking about how it's President Musk. Right now, it's President Biden. Biden right now is currently our president. President-elect Trump is going to be taking over, but a lot of people, especially members of Congress and AOC, keep on saying that it's not going to be Trump as the next president. He's going to be basically the face, but everyone running the scenes is going to be Elon Musk. In my opinion, I think that that's absolutely ridiculous. O'Leary says, I admire AOC for her marketing powers or prowess, but she's one of the worst managers I've seen. If I lived in her district, which to me is one of the worst managers in the country, I would fire her and hire somebody way better. Absolutely agree with that. And then Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary also says that a Canadian says he likes the idea of combining the U.S. and Canadian economies, says that he's heading to Mar-a-Lago to start the talks. So I think this is really interesting because President-elect Trump came out and said that Canada should join as the 51st state in the United States, says that Justin Trudeau has done a terrible job running Canada and that the U.S. could easily acquire Canada and become the 51st state, which would be the largest state, obviously, because Canada is so big, but we would be able to kind of bring them in and run Canada very well as a United States state. Now, this one is really interesting, and for those of you guys that have been involved in cryptocurrency for quite some time, you guys know who this guy is. His name is Kwon. So Montenegro approves Terraform Labs co-founder Kwon extradition to the U.S. following his appeal rejection. So he's been trying to make sure that he doesn't come back to the United States following a bunch of appeals. But this was the fall of the Luna token. So who remembers the Luna token? So this was Terra Labs co-founder Do Kwon will be handed over to the U.S. for prosecution, the government of Montenegro just told Bloomberg. Now, the Terra Luna token was trading over $120 per token, and then immediately had a massive crash where it was trading for 0.000001 cents. So absolutely got wrecked. And now this happened was Do Kwon ended up printing a bunch of tokens just out of thin air, selling them into the market, and then having a bunch more tokens, not as much demand, and then it crashed the price. He became super rich, and then left the country, left the United States, and now he was one of the most wanted people for cryptocurrency. Was caught in Montenegro, and now he's being extradited to the U.S., and I think that he is going to have a massive prison sentence because a bunch of people ended up taking out mortgages on their houses to buy the Luna token. Obviously, no one should recommend anyone ever doing that. Again, make sure you guys do your own independent research before making any financial decisions, but absolutely ridiculous. People need to be smarter, but if you guys can't play within the rules of cryptocurrency, and especially these founders, yeah, they deserve the full extent of the law, and I do see at least a 25 prison year sentence, if not life in prison, because some people did actually unalive themselves after the massive crash because they lost everything. Independent Reserve becomes the first crypto exchange in Singapore to list Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. So this is the Ripple stablecoin on the XRPL, which is the XRP ledger. I think that is actually great news. Now, getting into our Watcher Guru news, we see KULR Technology, publicly traded company, purchases 217 Bitcoin, worth 21 million for the Bitcoin treasury. Everyone and institutions are starting to adopt Bitcoin as a reserve currency. We'll see if the United States does it. In my opinion, I'm kind of iffy if the United States should, but the United States should get back into the gold standard as well as possibly getting into cryptocurrency as well, in my opinion. Russia says it's going to be using Bitcoin to evade sanctions. This is actually great news for the country, not great news for the United States and any other country putting sanctions currently on the country. But again, cryptocurrency gives a bunch of people different avenues to avoid certain things. Now, Squid Games Season 2 features a cryptocurrency scammer. So if you guys have watched Squid Games at all, you guys kind of know the premise of the show. But I ended up pausing it right here. It says, I need to see my cryptocurrency wallet. Or see how crypto's going, and he talks about it because he ended up stealing a bunch of money in cryptocurrency and then ends up using it and then wants to see where the markets are at. If he was super rich in the show, I don't know why he would volunteer to be part of this to get more money, in my opinion, gambling addiction, but we'll see. Ethereum founder, for those of you guys that don't know, this is Vitalik Buterin. He is the Ethereum founder and tells that how he is close to working with Ripple. So he tried to work with Ripple, he says. We'll just go through. He says, so actually at first, I tried to work for Ripple briefly, but then there are US visa issues. Basically, the kind of visa issues that I needed to use required the company to have existed for at least a year, but it only existed for 9 months. And so that had an up falling through. So basically, I had this off term in university, and he didn't actually end up working for Ripple because of this. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that is great news that he didn't, but he could have actually helped the company, in my opinion, a little bit. We'll see what happens, though, if he comes out a little bit more. He did talk about how Ripple and the XRP token are very beneficial and are doing better than Bitcoin. They have a lot of more use case, in my opinion. I even think more use case, actually, than Ethereum's network as well, even though Ethereum does have a higher market cap, doesn't show true real-world utility yet. The headlines are all about MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor's genius. Here's what they're not telling you. MicroStrategy's debt is $7.3 billion. Bitcoin holdings are $43 billion. Ripple has no debt and $1 billion in cash. Brad Garlinghouse did say this. And XRP escrow valuing in the numbers and set for September of 2024 with current price of $88 billion. Who is the real genius? And in my opinion, I do agree with digital asset investor. It is going to be Ripple as the company. Bitcoin rose on Thursday, so this is on Christmas Day. That the digital assets stockpiler MicroStrategy announced a plan to issue more shares. A move that will allow to buy more tokens. So what they're going to do is they're going to sell more shares of MicroStrategy, the company, and buy more Bitcoin tokens in and of itself. Hedera shares the holiday greetings. So, season greetings and holidays and happy holidays from Hedera. As 2024 draws to a close, Hedera celebrates every builder, developer, and community member shaping the future of Web3 with us together. We are creating a more transparent, efficient digital world. Here, another year of sustainable innovation on Hedera. Hello, future. I think that is great news. Hedera is one of the cryptocurrencies that, in my opinion, I like. Now, this is getting into what we talked about in the beginning. Charles Hoskinson, so he is Cardano's founder. They use the token ADA, says there's no reason for us not to work together. And he talks about a midnight program and bringing Ripple in on this. I think that this is actually great news. Charles Hoskinson came out and said that he's going to be working directly with the Trump administration on cryptocurrency regulation. I think that it is bullish news for ADA as well as Ripple now and the XRP token. Now, Crypto Barbie shares only one more week until every bank in Japan will be using XRP, according to the SBI CEO, and this is his name, Yoshitaka Kitio. I don't know however you pronounce that. Here is the Ripple provides a hybrid technology that combines ILP and XRP ledger. I think this is actually great news. In my opinion, I don't see them actually utilizing this on day one of 2025, but I do see every bank will be using this by the end of 2025 in Japan. And I think that is what is a little bit misleading about this. If you guys want to, the full report is right here. It's 169 pages if you guys want to read it. But this is SBI Holdings in their innovations meetings where they talk about using the XRPL. Now, getting into our IRS stuff. Zach Rector shares, I'm calling BS on the IRS reporting of digital assets that would love to hear from the lawyers. Chime in. Straight from the bill in Congress passed into law. SEC 80603, information reporting for brokers and digital assets. Return requirements for certain transfers of digital assets not otherwise subject to reporting. Any broker with respect to transfer which is not part of the sale or exchange executed by such broker during a calendar year of a covered security, which is a digital asset from an account maintained by such a broker to an account which is not maintained by or address not associated with a person such as a broker known as the reason to know is also a broker shall make a return such as a calendar year. Are digital assets now coveted securities? Or covered securities? Can anyone refer me to the law that makes digital assets a covered security? All I can find is this. In addition to the offers and sales of certain exempt securities, the NSMIA defines covered securities as securities that are listed on the National Securities Exchange, such as the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, are issued by an investment company that are registered or that has filed a registration statement under the Investment Company Act of 1940. We know as a matter of law that XRP is not a security, so why would broker-dealers be required to report these if assets are not covered, a covered security as a matter of law? And until we get Congress to codify into law that the U.S. digital assets are, why would we assume that they are covered securities? And why And are we just using the assumption because Gensler said everything is a crypto asset security? I do agree with this. I do see, every time you end up transferring, a crypto from your hot wallet, which is your wallet on like, a Coinbase, an Uphold, Kraken, KuCoin, Gemini, and then you transfer that to a cold storage wallet if you have one. You're supposed to basically take a snapshot every single time you trade it, every time you send it to somebody else, every time you add it back to an exchange and then send it back. In my opinion, I don't understand why you have to be doing all of that. Again, we talked about Judge Annalisa Torres coming out and say XRP in of itself is not a security. So are we going to even have to file taxes for that in 2024 for 2025's tax in February or April? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this, but Watcher Guru is also reporting the IRS says crypto staking is taxable. So if you're staking any cryptocurrencies, they are going to be taxed, as well as U.S. Congress is expected to prioritize crypto legislation in 2025. So we'll see what happens with this. It's going to be very interesting. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel, and if you guys can't invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys, and have a good one.